Welcome back to another episode of Are We in the Matrix? Now, today I want to have full disclosure on something and give you guys a little. I always am very transparent about my life, about my path, my perspective, everything. So, a few weeks ago, I allowed myself to expend a lot of Synergy Cell energy on a pointless experiences. And so I did so, and I knew the consequence of what that was going to be. And so now I've been working at replenishing my Synergy Cell energy. But of course, my frequency took a hit, as naturally would be. So obviously I also started doing some shadow work and really getting some stuff dug out of my subconscious mind and addressing my shadow and making peace with my shadow and making peace with my grief. I've also posted 2 posts on my Ko-Fi page, so you may want to check those out. Of course, those are free to read. You can read and view anything on that site without being a member, without supporting. It's all there. So I think those were good, helpful posts. And basically, what I cover is addressing your shame. If you're doing shadow work and you really look at your motives for everything that you've done, your shadow aspects and everything like that, most of it can be rooted in shame. And shame is this self-punishing mode that you're in. It's self-punishment. And once you can forgive your shame, because I realized I was still holding myself to a judgment of this was bad behavior. This was not good behavior. This was bad. This was wrong. So realizing maybe all the sin and karma programming had not been pulled out, obviously, but really addressing the shame, because the shame is what's going to cause you to have low self-esteem, and it's nothing I'm saying is new. It's all been said to us before in different words, but really sometimes the different words, if it's stated differently, then my brain hears it. It doesn't always wrap itself around the concept that it's hearing. So anyway, really honing in on my shame and forgiving myself, forgiving yourself, radical forgiveness of yourself. Forget everybody else, because when you really get down to it, anybody that has hurt you in this game, they're just a reflection of you. They're just a reflection of you. So it doesn't matter who the face of the villain is. It's something in you that is expressing itself outside of you. And you have to forgive it. You have to forgive you. Yes, forgive those people because you've held on to that unforgiveness about that person or that situation. Yeah, it is certainly helpful to go through that forgiveness process. But in that process, do not forget to forgive yourself first and foremost, because that was a shift for me. When I really let myself off the hook and just acknowledge things that I could not reconcile and be okay with, but realize I was self-flagellation, self-flagellating because of these certain things that I had done previously, So you let it go, because it's just a choice. Whether you assign morality to it or right and whatever, it doesn't matter, because they're just choices. You have to be okay with you. So you do that, and then you will feel the shift within yourself, and you'll feel lighter, and you will feel more optimistic about your life and about your ability to get get through your journey, your frequency journey, and win this game. You're going to win the game, but you know what I mean. Getting yourself to the top of your game and truly truly playing the game to your will and not to the will of the matrix creating for you. So that's where I'm at with having to replenish my energy. And why am I bringing it up now? Because in the interim, all of this stuff that I was doing, well, not all this stuff, but in the interim of everything that goes on in my life, I'm trying to create a new job. Just completely different, create a new job. And I got two bites, two really good opportunities present to me, and went through the interviewing process for two of them. One of them moved a lot quicker than the other. So right now I've found myself going through the background process. You know, I went through the interviewing process. I received an offer. I accepted the offer. So now it was a matter of getting all my background stuff in line. And I realized I was ill-equipped and unprepared for what I was going to need to do. What do I mean? Well, back in January, my car was stolen, right? When the car was stolen, my purse was in that car. So I temporarily lost my car, but I permanently lost my nice purse that I had purchased for myself 2 years prior, and my license, my social security card, all my debit cards. So I had no identification. However, I had pictures of my license and my social security card because I use it for the apps that I work on. And so I didn't really need it. And I kept putting it off and putting it off and putting it off because I didn't want to pay to get them replaced, which is really my old patterns. You know what I mean? Like, that's not important. I don't want to put my money towards that. I want to put my money towards this. Me, whatever. Even though that was an important thing to do. So now I'm going through the background checks, which, you know, up until this point, all of the background checks that I've been through have been digital, but I needed to go get fingerprinted. So I get to the fingerprint place. It took me 2 hours to get there because they're not everywhere. So 2 hours in the car, I get there only for them to tell me that they need my actual license. I need to have my license on me plus another form of ID in order for them to be able to fingerprint me. And this is basically federal regulation. I can't get around it. And, you know, whatever, my questioning them, it just really wasn't going to fly. I'm like, okay, great. And I got in the car, and the frustration that I was feeling in the store obviously bubbled over. And, you know, I had a few tears, but I can't be upset. Like, I can be upset, of course, but I really can't get that upset I can't be upset at those people. They're following the rules, right? It's my own fault. It's my own fault because this happened in January. We're in September. I've had 9 months to get that license, and I just haven't done it because that's my old pattern. I procrastinate these things. I put them off. And like I said, I want something else. So I'm gonna do that because that's what I want. That's my immediate instant gratification that I want. Forget about this other stuff because that doesn't give me any gratification, even though it's my responsibility and that's what a responsible adult does. You see? So those kind of things come back to hinder you. I'm not going to say haunt because I'm not haunted by it. It just hindered me. So now I had to do what I had to do, and I had to order a new replacement driver's license and social security card. So once I get those, then I can resume the job search, and hopefully maybe the other job, since they haven't actually offered any, they haven't made an offer to me yet, maybe that'll pan out. And by the time that all pans out, it'll be time when I actually have these in my possession. But what I'm saying is that whole job basically crumbled before my eyes. And I didn't want to get myself too super hyped up, too attached to it. That's the thing. I made sure to not get too attached because I know at the end of the day, having the job was going to change things for me. Right? It was kind of part of the path, laying the groundwork for different changes, different manifestations. But I didn't get so wrapped up in it where it was going to destroy me, and I wasn't like clinging to it, and I was okay. Like I said, I had a few tears out of frustration, and then I shook it off very quickly and I just moved on. And I had to tell myself also, look, hey, this is okay. It's not the end of the world. You're going to be fine. There's other job offers. This is proof that you're going to get job offers, and decent ones, much better than you'd expected. So if you can get a job offer you can get a better one, and just move on. It's not the end of the world, because I think in the past, whenever I've had a manifestation fail or not come to fruition, I catastrophized it. And in my mind, the one time that I attempted to create something was the only chance I had. I had that for a very long time in my thoughts, in my belief system, that I only had one shot to create something. And then that was it. It was lost forever. And I don't know why I even had that. I think it was just because, previously, way back years ago, trying to manifest through law of attraction, and it just failing all the time for me, and just getting me more and more disappointed with my life, and disillusioned with law of attraction, that stuff. And no faith in myself, not having any confidence in my own ability. You see, like it was doing what it was supposed to be doing, I guess you can say. So yes. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, you can create this, and actually you can create something better. And then I had to also, which is also kind of led me into this other thing, right? Because I've been thinking about, well, I had to battle, and this is why I'm talking about shame and all this stuff and unworthiness, because for decades, I've held this unworthy feeling of like, I don't deserve to have a certain income because I don't hold a degree that said I went to a 4-year institution to learn mind-numbing stuff that I couldn't handle for the first 12 years of my life. So my mother instilled that shame in me, and I never let it go, and never felt that I could be qualified for a better paying position, that I basically was resigned to the fact that I was going to have to work like a dog to make my money. But this job offer was the first indication that that was not the case. And actually, the second one, the one that has not offered me the position yet, or extended an offer to me yet, was actually even more so evidence and proof that I'm worthy of more income, and still not having to slave and labor 80 hours a week to make that money. You see what I'm saying? So no matter what stage in your game that you are in, if you've had setbacks, whatever the case may be, if you are on the right track and you're doing what you need to do, even if you stumble, you're going to see the evidence of your intent before your eyes. That's my point. Okay? And I'm sitting here, like, normally this kind of stuff would choke me up, and I would be like beating myself inside while I'm telling you this, but I don't feel that. Like, I'm okay. Like, wow, I'm comfortable in my own skin for the first time in forever. So it's very interesting feeling. It's this level of self-assuredness, and I'm not by any means saying, oh yeah, like I got it, because I'm not, but just that comfortableness of being who I am in my own skin. Now, the next thing obviously is to work on the form of the avatar. That actual, that's my next hurdle mentally that I have to get with. But I'm talking about this subject for right now. And really, that's all I want to point out for today. And I'm going to leave it at that. And I now have something to do for the next episode. Anyway, thank you very much. Keep your head up. Keep going forward. Don't catastrophize. Don't beat yourself up. Work on your shame. Work on your shadow. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.